Shalom. First, I want to say, Call Haloyim, La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kwadash. That bonus to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, Ruwell, who have taught us knowledge. Honest and salutations to you, fellow laborers, doing the work week in and week out. Shalom to you, and shalom to the few Akwaf that believe. I entitled this video, He Covet Fields. And it's pretty much from the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter. I told someone at camp, which potential brother, that I would do a video on it because I was bringing it out during the street ministry. So here's my video on that subject matter, and it was pertaining to the lithium. Now, as you all know, there's a demand for EV, which is electric vehicles. But what you probably haven't noticed is that the electric vehicles and the lithium production, which comes from the lithium resources or reserves throughout the earth, go hand in hand. And it just so happened to be that these countries where it's heavily populated with jade, or predominantly populated with jade, has the largest, the most largest resources outside of other countries. You have other countries that have lithium reserves or untapped resources of lithium, but the ones in Central South America has a huge untapped reserves, or resource of the lithium. So let's get into it, and Lord willing, this video was edifying to those of you that may watch or listen and tune in to what's going on, and wake up to what Esau is doing. All right, because Esau, he is still in the power seat until Yahweh Shem try to take him out of the power seat. And while he's in the power seat, he's doing his usual destructive behaviors, as usual. So this is from NS Energy. It says top 6 countries with the largest lithium reserves in the world, and this is dated from the November the 19th of 2020. It says lithium is growing in demand, but many of the countries with the biggest known reserves have yet to successfully commercialize the resource at scale. Now, you look up, all the different talks from the top brands of car, the top car brands, which, excuse me, most of the top car brands have created electric vehicle. So, I'm sure you're familiar with Elon Musk. Ford has electric vehicles. Even the top, brands like I think it's Lamborghini, a lot of German cars, whatever it may be. All right, Mercedes, what have you. They all have electric vehicles. I'm going to pull up a list of those car brands as well. So it says lithium is growing in demand, but many of the countries with the biggest known reserves have yet to successfully commercialize the resource at scale. So, the title, or the what would you call that? The prologue or prelude is already setting the tone for the article, right? It says growing interest in lithium in recent years has seen the world's largest known reserves increase significantly as exploration activities accelerate. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the USGS, there are around 80 million tons of identified reserves globally as of 2019. That's up almost 30% compared to a year earlier. Because you know why? That's Esau for you. What he do is he covets the lands, all right, or the lands that he covet um, always has a resource that he can profit off of. All right, and I actually took some time out to study a particular precept I always bring out when I do videos about Esau and his greed. And it comes from the book of Psalm 73 and verse 7. It says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish, because Esau have everything that a ruler could want, but yet he wants it all. He don't leave anything left for the people that live in that or in those lands. You know, he go and extract, or really just by violence, forcefully take the resources. All right, by creating the coup, which will overthrow the elected leader of the people, and send up a puppet leader that will acquiesce and kowtow to his demands uh, to get the resources. All right, he find evil and cunning ways to get the resources. So um, that's his mo. All right. So I looked up the word fatness, right, and it goes back to the Hebrew word halab, or I believe it's halab, or is that a ka? I didn't know halab. So if I'm pronouncing it right, Shalakia. So when I read the Syrian Hebrew or Syrian or Aramaic style, I get thrown off by that first character right there sometimes. So Shalakia, if I'm saying it wrong. But when I looked it up, it says fat of humans, fat of beasts, which we know is not that. It says for C it says choicest, best part, abundance, and it has in those marks of products of the land, and that would be right here. Let me see, can I click on it, highlight it, right? Of products of the land. All right, now let me web search that real quick. Let me see, can I define that? Let's see, what can I get from it? Okay, this is kind of pretty much on point. It says land economics. It says 3 days ago. In modern economics, it is broadly defined to include, and I'm reading right here. Let me click on it. See, can I get something? See, can I get something? Oh, that sentence, I was there. Shall I bear me 1 second? Okay, right here. It says land. In economics, the resource that encompasses the natural resources used in production. So yeah, each land has natural resources for the most part. Some lands, some part of the land don't produce anything that's useful, but then you have a lot of the land does. All right, it all depends on the geographical location of that land. It says in classical economics, the three factors of production are land, labor, and capital. Land was considered to be the original and inexhaustible gift of nature, because if you had a good plot of land that was fertile and was rich with resources, it can vary. It could be precious metals, precious stones, what have you, right? If you had control of that land, or you own that land, okay, then that will produce riches for you, because you will sell the resources as you please to get, monetary gain off of it. Okay, excuse me. And this is the way it has always been. Okay, this is why Esau, um, when he goes into a country and he go in that land, the reason why he go in so violently is to overthrow the government. If he has the military, but it's not capable of withstanding or defending itself off from invaders, then he simply just goes in and overtakes them by violence, and then he control the resources, set up a occupation. Okay, that's what it means when I quoted the verse in Micah. Let's go to Micah. I'll start at verse 1. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And this is how Esau, all right, the Edomites, this is how they do. All right, begin with their elites on down. All right, they do it because it's in the power of their hand. The Most High set them up in power, and they take full advantage of it, even though it's a lot of wicked, evil things they do. Okay, verse 2, it says, and they covet fields and take them by violence. Often you hear what? You'll hear false accusations, which is a foundation to demonize, all right, a leader, all right. There's always false flags that's created by Esau, and then he'll use that as a justification to going into those lands, overthrowing the leaders and murdering them. All right, Esau have murdered leaders publicly. All right, using mercenaries. All right, I mean this is a wicked man. All right, what's that? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. I mean, come on. I mean, the most wicked man, all right, on this earth is Esau, Edom, and his descendants. All right, and they covet fields. Matter of fact, let me get a precept real quick. All right, this is Job 30:8. It's talking about the Edomites, right? It says the wicked, which is the Edomites. All right, Malachi 1:4, they call them the border of wickedness. Job 30:8, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. So this is a wicked people, man. All right, clearly a wicked people. All right, everything about them is wickedness. All right, because that's what they were created to do. All right, their character or their role, all right, on the earth is to be the wicked. All right, the wicked seed. All right, it says back in Micah 2:2, and they covet fields and take them by violence. And what you see, you always see the U.S. and NATO going to these lands, and what are they doing? They're like I said, they're murdering the leaders. A lot of the civilians or pedestrians are murdered. Excuse me. And they're never brought to justice. All right, the U.S. and NATO are never brought to justice, man. There's no reason to. There was no reason, far as justifiable reason, to go into the Middle East and do what Esau have done, bombed it to hell and back. But again, why he do it? For resources. All right, he don't give a shit about those different countries and the people, that live in those lands. Come on, man. He want their resources, and he'll do whatever to get it. All right, he'll do whatever it is to get it, including spilling so-called innocent blood. Okay, let's go back to the article. I mean, yeah, it's Britannica. It says, in modern economics, it is broadly defined to include all that nature provides, including minerals, forest products, and water and land resources. While many of these are renewable resources, no one considers them inexhaustible. The payment to land is called rent. Like land, its definition has been broadened over time to include payment to any productive resource with a relatively fixed supply. So you get the gist of it. All right. I want to get rid of that. I want to go back to this article, right? It says growing interest in lithium in recent years has seen the world's largest known reserves increase significantly as exploration activities accelerate. Excuse me. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the USGS is the abbreviation, there are around 80 million tons of identified reserves globally as of 2019. That's up almost 30% compared to a year earlier. And this is back in 2020, right? So they was doing pretty much a summary of their a summary of their observation or findings about lithium reserves. All right, now let's. I don't want to read the whole thing. I want to get straight to it. That way, I don't hold you up too longer. Um, so right here, it says, look at this. It says while the USGS also provides data on the biggest mine reserves, see they collect data. What they're doing is they'll jot down the names of the countries and even the location of specific areas of the country where they can go in there and get that lithium. Esau spy out the land all the time. That's just something normal that countries do. They send spies to spy out the land. All right. It says while the USGS also provides data on the biggest mine reserves of the metal in descending order: Chile, Australia, Argentina, China, US. The following list is of those countries in the world with the largest overall lithium reserves, regardless of their stage of development. So it says top 6 countries with the largest lithium reserves in the world. It says Bolivia, number 1, with 21 million tons. Number 2 is Argentina. And notice these are Central South American countries, right? Bolivia. Argentina has 17 million tons. Chile has 9 million tons. So the U.S. has 6.8 million tons, which, I question, where they get that from. But hey, they might have some here. This land was very rich in resources. So I can believe, it had some lithium source. All right. So it mentions the U.S., which the U.S. has a significant lower amount, all right, of lithium. So you know what it's going to do, right? Go out to other countries and debo them out of it. Number 5 is Australia with 6.3 million. China, number 6 at 4.5 million. So the biggest reserves clearly are in these 3 countries, which Bolivia, all right, it's all South America. All right, and then one country that's not on the list is South America as well, that has a good amount of reserve is Brazil. Okay, so I want to focus on something real quick because I brought up an article because I said I said the Esau always overthrow the leaders, right? Now check this out on Bolivia. Now, if you brothers was paying attention to what happened in Bolivia, man, maybe 3 years back, yeah, roughly 3 years back, a little over 3 years, maybe give or take. They had a president named Evo Morales, and Evo Morales they was forcing him out of office. They had created a coup. All right. And what he did was he resigned and got out the way because he knew the consequences of him fighting against the U.S. oppression. Okay. Often these leaders, when they do that, because they don't want no um, problems. All right, so to speak. Former President Evo Morales had pledged to accelerate the development of a Bolivian lithium industry, but he resigned from office in 2019 amid political instability, which it wasn't no political instability. The people of Bolivia overwhelmingly elected Evo Morales, and he done Bolivia um, a great deal of prosperity and you know how you say uh, when you it's like I lost a train of thought right there, Shalaki. When you basically he improved the country economically, so people were doing a lot better economically. All right, and then he was doing a lot of things for the people. You know, he left a good impression on the people of Bolivia. All right, but when the U.S. put pressure on him, he resigned. When you look up the situation, which I got an article on it, so because he stated that outside pressure. All right, so let me get to the point though. Um, his eventual successor, Luis Arce, Arce, if I'm pronouncing it right, is considered likely to resume these plans and make Bolivia the lithium capital of the world. But his ability to successfully commercialize the resource remains to be seen. So again, this is what happens. This is what happens when Esau wants a resource. Now, this is from the BBC, right? This is dated the 18th of October, 2020. Um, Let me see. It says the vote is a rerun of a chaotic October 2019 election that led to the resignation and exile of left-wing President Evo Morales, excuse me, as Bolivia's first indigenous leader. Excuse me, one second. Excuse me. It says the vote is a rerun of a chaotic October 2019 election that led to the resignation and exile of left-wing President Evo Morales. As Bolivia's first indigenous leader, he had governed the landlocked gas and mineral-rich South American nation since 2006. See, you don't stay in power that long, or you don't lead the people that long unless the people favor you. All right. It says uh, the vote could open the way for the return from exile for Mr. Morales, who alleges he was forced out by a right-wing coup. See, which was the outside influence, and I forget. It's been a while, but he kept on saying that because he was elected by the people, and when the people chose him, because he got this democratic process, right? But he was elected by the people, and when they seen that the people were still rocking with him or still chose him as their leader, well, who has a problem with that? Esau. So the U.S. went in there. You know, they're always um, tampering with someone's. They always tamper with other countries' elections, man. They're known for doing that. Okay, so let's go from there. All right, I'm gonna go from there. This is another. Let's bring this up, and then I'm gonna go. Let me get another preset real quick. All right. I written this out real quick. John 10 and 10. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. So this is what a thief will do. All right. Remember, when you go to the book of Job, when it speaks about, all right, speaking about the Edomites, right? This is Job verse 5, go right to the point. Job 30 and 5, it says, they were driven forth from among men. This is talking about the Edomites, all right, when they was called Caucasians. Well, the reason they was called Caucasians is because they was pushed into the Caucasus Mountains by the dark nations, all right, which is including the tents of Judah that was over there in Europe. All right, they were pushed in the mountains because of their evil and wicked behavior. All right, simple. All right, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as a thief. See? Let me read it again. They were driven forth from among men. Yeah, they ran them up into the mountains. Ran them back up into the mountains, which they were used to anyway. Going back to Mount Seir. All right. It says, which is their original inheritance, right? It says, they cried after them as after a thief. Because why? Esau is the ultimate thief. That's why when our Lord Yahweh shall come back and he take down Esau, who's going to come back with who's going to come back with Yahweh Shai? The angels in the chariots. And what does it say about the chariots? They're going to enter into the house of the thief. Let me get that real quick. You better believe this man's a thief. The reason why we don't have this land you call America no more is because it was stolen from us. All right, by rape, robbery, and murder. That's a fact. That's not misinformation. That's a fact. We didn't hand over this land, did we? How did he get Europe? All right. Murder, violence. Okay. I'm gonna hit the verse. I'm gonna jump down a bit. Zechariah 5 and 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe, which is describing the type of chariot that he's seen, right? Verse 2, it says, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it, and everyone that sweareth falsely, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side, according to it. It says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. All right, so the house of the thief is referring to who? Who's the ultimate thief? Esau. Excuse me. All right, look no further than Esau. Okay. When you look at the car companies, right? I got to pull it right here. It says popular electric cars: Jaguar, Tesla, Nissan, another Tesla, BMW, Polestar, Audi, Renault Zoe, Chevrolet, Ford, Porsche, Kia, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, Kia, another Tesla, Hyundai, Lucid Air, BMW, Lotus, Eviha, Rivian. So, hey, there are a number of cars that are electric, and they're just a little short list, 20 of them. All right, a list of 20. So that's not all the cars, all the car brands. I'm sorry. So there's more. All right. So there's more. Let me get some more precepts. Because again, you know what's going to happen? Don't be shocked or surprised if you see more chaos. All right, going on down in South America. Now remember, Venezuela. I mentioned this at Camp 2. I'm gonna mention it again. Remember, Venezuela had one of the. It was like number 1 or number 2 as far as oil reserves in the world. And then all of a sudden, what happened to Nicolas Maduro? He was demonized. They created an evil narrative about him. And what happened to Venezuela? It fell into turmoil. It fell into chaos. Sanction after sanctions, right? Venezuela is in a bad state right now, which is a bad condition. Thanks to Esau, you know. I mean, his wickedness is going to show. Is that what the scriptures say? Let me get that real quick before I hit that in 2 Thessalonians. Let me get this real quick. Ecclesiastes 12:10, because you can't do business with Esau. You cannot do business with Esau. Esau ain't, no, he's not a businessman. He's a murderer and a thief. All right. Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach 12:10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And you better believe iron rusted. All right. And I know personally because I worked in the iron foundry before. All right. And iron sure enough rusted. All right. And you better believe that. All right. His wickedness is going to always show. All right. So just like iron will return back to his beggarly elements, start rusting and turning back to his beggarly elements. So with Esau, when he try to hide his wickedness, it'll always come out because that's his whole makeup. All right, being wicked. Now let's go to the book of Psalms real quick. Grab something else. Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil. Excuse me. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this is something that Esau, this is how he approaches. Smooth, soft words. But you better believe he have a evil, wicked plan to get the resources about you, even if it's murdering people. All right. So let's go to and and make it so bad that we already don't have nothing on this side because we're serving out our captivity, which is our punishment. So, hey, the scriptures say that the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. All right, roughly paraphrase. That's the book of Psalms, the 10th chapter, I believe that is. All right. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now, perdition means destruction. Who's known for destroying things? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. The man that calls himself white. From the central bankers on down. All right. All of them. They're all the same people. The house of Esau. That's who they are. See? And this is why the Heavenly Father, all right, and his son is going to put Esau in his right place, which is in slavery, to pay for all his iniquities. See? This is why the things that are happening in his society, which cause his society to collapse, are happening because the Lord is visiting Esau, all right, he's revealing his sins and iniquities. All right? That's what's going on. Because Esau is destroying the earth just to get the resources, man. So if you do have resources that's good for, excuse me, that's good for the people, he still take the good resources and because how he makes things, it's always something bad that's going to be more detrimental to the environment, which is the earth. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna say, Lord willing, this video was edifying. That's all I have for you in this video. But Lord willing, it was edifying. And until the elect is down in those lands, shalom to you. And I want to say to the next video, to all the sincere Akim and the few Akwaf, shalom.